DJI Mavic 3, don't wait for it.
Bill, a drone reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night I hosted Rotor Talk Live. I did talk about a number of subjects that evening, but we spent some time talking about the DJI Mavic 3 and why you shouldn't wait for it. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and roll that clip in its entirety.
DJI Mavic 3, don't wait for it, okay? My good friend Rick Smith, he just put out a video because he's had a lot of questions about it. And like Rick, I get a lot of questions about the Mavic 3 all the time. When's it coming, Bill? Thought we were going to get it in September. It's September. Are we going to get it? Is there any chance it's still going to be here this year? Okay. I want to say something right off the bat here, guys. We're not seeing it this year. Okay. It's not going to happen in September. All right. First of all, it's not going to happen. Next year, probably first quarter. I don't know. Haven't really heard a whole lot of chatter about when, but it's going to be next year. All right. And I'm going to say a phrase that my good friend Original Dobo says all the time. The best drone is the one you already own. All right. Or the best drone is the one that you're going to buy right now. All right. Let's take a look and see what's available in the consumer space right now as far as DJI is concerned, excluding the Mavic Mini, because I think, like I said, we're talking more, prosumer here, okay? Professional / consumer, all right? And the first one we're going to look at is, of course, I've been talking about it ad nauseum tonight, is the Mavic Air 2. The features on this drone are insane. The runtime on it, 34 minutes, OcuSync 2.0, the ability to eventually work with a smart controller, which will be coming up, and I'm sure DJI will give us this blessing here shortly, probably within the next month or two, probably, once they get all the bugs out of the DJI Fly app on the smart controller, which has been the big holdup from what I've heard. So here's reason number one. Okay, 34 minutes of runtime, specs that rival and probably, I think, either meet or exceed the Mavic 2 Zoom right now. No, my phone decided to ask me a question here. I probably said something that I have because Samsung Bixby probably came popping up. Okay. So if you want to get something under $1,000 right now, and you want something that's close to professional, right? Here it is right here, okay? I have not been disappointed with any video I've shot with this, okay? Have not been. And for the price, for $799 for what you get, it's an incredible value, all right? Now, if you're looking for more of a professional drone, all right, here it is. Mavic 2 Pro. All right. I've had this now. It's officially been 2 years for this guy. All right. For what you get on this drone, it's insane. And the quality, the sunsets that I've taken with this, when Ron Brown came down, it was April 2019. He and I and both our spouses went to Reddington Beach here on the Gulf Coast here in Florida. And Ron remarked at the sunset and looking through my iPad, and he had his Mavic Pro at the time. He didn't have his Mavic 2 yet. And he looked and he said, "That's incredible, Bill. The low light capabilities of this drone are completely off the charts. And for what you pay for it, you're getting, I'll call it it really is a prosumer type of drone, okay? You're getting the best of both worlds. Plus, you also get that sensor on the top. It's in the and sensor in the back, sensor on the sides. They're covered up by the legs here. In this camera, is just off the charts. I have never been disappointed with a video from the Mavic 2 Pro, and especially those low light videos like at dusk or at sunset. Just absolutely incredible. And the how you know, I have very little post editing to do with these videos. I mean, I do some with my other drones, not this one. I don't have to do that. Okay. And it's worth it. And of course, this works with a smart controller, guys. I mean, seriously. And for what you're going to pay for it, for right now, you know, here's my thing. All right. If you need a drone, get a drone right now. All right. This is still an incredible value for what you're paying for it. It's still available through DJI if you're looking to buy it. You know, and you're somebody, oh, I want to wait for the Mavic 3. I want to wait for the Mavic 3. Well, you don't know when the Mavic 3 is coming out, guys. I mean, seriously, you have no idea. So, you know, this is where we're at as far as you know, drones are concerned, as far as, you know, the Mavic 3 is concerned. Don't be waiting on it. You don't know when it's going to come out. You don't know what the specs are going to be like, and you have no idea what the price are. I mean, there's been a lot, and we've talked about it. You know, we've talked about some of the rumored specs. We talked about rumors regarding price. I know Marcus and Ron and I had discussed some ideas regarding price and features and capabilities, you know, but we're speculating because we don't have any facts yet. You know, there's no FCC grant ID database. You probably won't see anything until, like I said, 2021. And now, last but not least here, all right, is this guy, the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0, all right? Exceptional capabilities with this drone. Exceptional. It's expensive. It's right now I think about $1749. But what you get with this is just beyond awesome. The capabilities of this drone, the way it flies, the way it handles the wind is incredible. You know, the manual shutter on there. Like I said, I've never had to tinker or rarely tinker with footage from the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. Now, granted, I will say this. With the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0, it's Achilles heel, and you all know what the Achilles heel is. I don't have to tell you guys this, okay? You all know that the Achilles heel is the props and the shots, all right? Now, you all know, absolutely, G-Boy 185, I am too. I am too. You know, it's like, you're going to pry my cold dead hands off my Phantom 4 Pro, okay? It's not parting ways with me, okay? It's like, if I could, it would be on my nightstand every night, all right? That's, yeah, seriously. That's how much I love this drone. And there's ways to compensate for props and the shots, guys. You know, I don't, for those of you that don't, you know, fly backwards. You'll never get props in the shots. I've also learned, depending upon the wind, I calculate the wind, know where the wind is at, and I gauge my speed when I'm filming. And usually if you go about 15 miles an hour or less, you're not going to get those props in the shots unless it's extremely windy. You know, and you can also adjust the gimbal tilt on there. You can get into some of the settings and you can adjust that a little bit even further to help compensate for that. So there's ways of getting around it, but I'll tell you what, it's a workhorse. It's solid, it's reliable, and mine has OcuSync 2.0, and I could not have been more thrilled that it's working with the oh, DeMarco, welcome, glad to see you. Kids soccer night, glad to see you, DeMarco. You know, working with a smart controller. Let me tell you something, guys. Flying with a Phantom 4 Pro V2.0 with the controller, it's good. It's a good experience. But remember, that thing's pretty heavy. flying with the smart controller with the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0, it's like night and day. Okay, even with the lanyard on, wearing the Phantom 4, the controller that comes with it, it's still heavy. Okay, not so much with that smart controller. And then the toggles, the way they naturally are. Now I know you can buy adapters and things for your toggles, but it just doesn't. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. As far as that's concerned, guys, it really doesn't. I mean, I don't know what else to say. JSK Enterprise, welcome. Rotating Mavic Air 2, my horizon becomes unlevel. Does that happen to anyone else? Richard, are you talking about moving from side to side? You know, your access? That's a good point, G185. Thank you. That's, yeah, you know, Mavic 2 Pro, that would work very well for weddings as far as that's concerned. Lon's in the house. Hey, Lon. Hey, Marcus. Glad you joined us tonight. So, you know, the Mavic 3, it's going to come, guys, okay? And trust me when I say this, okay? There's going to be a price increase. You know, everybody's saying, "Oh, I hope it's the same price as the Mavic 2 Pro." Guys, it's gonna be more expensive, okay? There's some things that I can tell you about the Mavic 3. One of them is it's coming in 2021, all right? Number two, it's gonna be more expensive, all right? And number three, with that, it's gonna have better features, all right? It is gonna have, you know, it's going to blow away what's out there already. And so I know I'll get the inevitable question here. Bill, I just bought a Mavic 2 Pro. Now the Mavic 3 is coming out. What do I do? You do what I did, okay? You know, if the drone is relatively new, you can recoup your loss. You can go out on forums. You can go out to eBay. You go out on Craigslist. You know, whatever way you like to sell items. For me, eBay's the easiest, okay? I know a lot of people have said they've had issues and problems with eBay. I've been fortunate. I haven't. I play by the rules. You can sell it through on some of the Mavic forums. Out on Facebook, you can do that. You know, use PayPal. Be smart with your transaction. You know, verify address and that kind of things. You can sell your drone. You know, it's not like, oh my gosh, I just bought this Mavic 2 Pro. What am I going to do? Kind of a thing. Well, if it's within 30 days of when the other one comes out, you can always send it back, guys, okay? But if it's after that, you sell it, okay? And a lot of guys are just like, oh, no, I did this. Da, 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 da. You know, if you make it right, if you price it right, if you go out there and you look to see what others are selling for, yeah, you're probably not going to get what you paid for it new, but it's not going to be, you're not going to lose a lot of money on that, all right? For me, I knew, you know, I wasn't going to get anywhere near what I paid new for the Mavic Mini when I sold it this weekend. But I knew that going into it, okay? I wasn't looking to make $499. I knew that wasn't going to happen. But what I got, I was very pleased with, all right? So, you know, weigh the pros and the cons here as far as that's concerned. So, you know, these are the things about the Mavic 3 that, you know, kind of take this into context here. As far as that's concerned. Michael Wright's in the house. Welcome, Michael. Glad to see you here tonight. Yeah, so, you know, it's like this. Don't sit back, lament, and say, woe is me. You know, that Mavic 3 is not coming out this year. I was really looking forward to it. You know, in everything. Look, you know, if you're looking for, here's what I'll tell you. If you're looking for drones under $1,000, look at the Fimi X8 SE 2020. For me, okay, that is a drone that I would recommend. Is it going to shoot as well as the Mavic Mini? No. But like I said, conversely, do you live in an area that has a lot of wind? Because if you do, you probably want to look at the Fimi versus the Mavic Mini. If you live in an area that doesn't have a lot of wind, Mavic Mini. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend it. Loved every second I flew that drone. It's absolutely flawless. But one thing with the Mavic Mini you got to remember with that drone is when you get it, that case that comes with it, you might as well just chuck it, because if you have the props on, it's going to cost. You need to take those props off whenever you put it in that case. Okay, Lauren pointed that out in there, and that's something that's worth noting. All right. So if you want to take a step up, but you don't want to quite spend $1,000, here it is, guys. Mavic Air 2. I have not been this excited about a drone since the Mavic 2 Pro came out, but even with this, I think I'm even a little bit more excited for what DJI has done with it since they've released it, the firmware updates, okay? And it's going to work with a smart controller, all right? That's just insane. That is just absolutely insane. And if you can spend over $1,000, if you can spend about $1,500-$1,600, okay, and you want to get near, I'll call it professional quality, it's a Mavic 2 Pro. This camera is insane in here, okay? Like I said, I have never had to do any post. I've had to do posts with the Mavic Air 2. I haven't had to do posts with this at all. None. Zero. None. It just, none. It's stellar. And it's fun to fly. It's rock solid. I've had zero issues with this drone. None whatsoever. Now, if you really want to get, if you really can step up, I don't know how much longer these are going to be available, but, if you can afford $1,700, do it, okay, for a Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. What you get with this drone is insane, okay? The capabilities of this drone are off the charts. And the video is off the charts with it, too. Just, G-Boy 185, and he and I are alike. This is a drone. You're gonna have to pry my cold dead hands off of it. That's just the way it is with this one for me. So those are my recommendations for right now. The Mavic 3 will come out next year. We'll find pricing for it next year, but expect to pay more than the Mavic 2 series. But also in return, the other thing, like I said, that I can guarantee you, it's going to have better capabilities. They talked about the optical image stabilization with that, and I know my friend Cliff Totten has been talking about it as well, and it's something to look at. It's gonna be incredible when it comes out. But don't sit there if you're needing to get a drone. Don't sit there and wait. Okay, don't do that. Global drone, I don't know. They came out with a new one for the Matrice that came out, the M300, as far as that's concerned. Brad Hendo, you sold your Parrot. Oh, wow. You only have the Mavic 2 Zoom and Mavic Mini. Okay, wow. That's you've been busy, Brad. I'll tell you that. Wow. All day if you can afford it. Sucks to bring it on trips with a video quality. You're at G-Boy 185. You're right. Okay, taking that thing on trips. Okay, that's I don't want to call it an Achilles heel. It's a PIA. It's a pain in the butt. Okay, it really is, because if you're taking it on trips, you don't want to use a soft case. Ask Billy Kyle. Okay, he'll tell you don't use a soft case with your Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. I saw the video from a couple of years ago. He was out snowmobiling. He had it in a soft case. It fell off the case. Boom. Okay, cracked. You got to use a hard case with it whenever you travel, and usually that means you're going to have to check it. And it's G-Boy 185. I know exactly where you're coming from about that. It's a real PETA. It's a real PETA. But conversely, some of the when you were overseas, I think over in France, when you shot that video over there of that castle, that was insane. That was absolutely insane, my friend. I mean, that's just, I've looked at that many times and I'm still amazed by that. Well, that's it for the Mavic 3. Again, Put your seatbelts on, guys, and be patient is all I got to say. And enjoy the drones that you have.
Question of the day. Are you interested in the DJI Mavic 3? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.
You know I want you close, maybe hold your hand a little while. Somehow I know you're gonna be the girl that I'll end